You just moved to the mile-high city, right? You're soaking in those breathtaking mountain views, but then you try to turn on the kitchen faucet and finding zero water? Yeah, that'll take your breath away for all the wrong reasons. Welcome to this explainer. We are going to take that dreaded utility setup process and turn it into a totally stress-free playbook.
I mean, picture this. You've literally spent the entire day hauling heavy boxes up what feels like a million stairs. You're completely exhausted, you're covered in dust, and all you want, the only thing you want, is a tall, ice-cold glass of water. You walk over to the sink, twist the handle, and nothing, not a single drop. It's a hugely frustrating, high-stakes moment that catches so many new residents completely off guard. But hey, don't sweat it. I'm going to walk you through a totally painless, step-by-step solution to get that water flowing fast.
Okay, here's our quick agenda for today. We're covering 1. Denver's providers, 2. Preparing for setup, 3. Making the connection, 4. Billing and payments, and 5. Maintenance and troubleshooting tips.
Let's kick things right off with Section 1, Denver's water providers.
So, Denver Water is an absolute powerhouse. They've been around since 1918, and today they serve about 1.5 million people. To put that into perspective, that's roughly a quarter of the entire state's population. And what's really wild is their water comes from a unique ecosystem of mountain snowmelt. We're talking watersheds like the South Platte, Blue River, Williams Fork, and Fraser River. But get this, even with all those customers, Denver Water uses less than 2% of all the treated and untreated water in Colorado. Pretty amazing, right?
But you've definitely got to know your boundaries here. If your home is right in the core city and county of Denver, you're golden. Your service is managed directed by Denver Water. But if you're out in the surrounding suburbs, you'll probably be dealing with regional distributors. Basically, they buy treated water from Denver Water and then manage their own local grids. So you might have ACWA if you're down in Dove Valley or Consolidated Mutual Water if you're over in Lakewood. The big takeaway here, always double-check exactly who your specific provider is first.
All right, moving right along to Section 2, Preparing for setup. So, assuming your provider actually is Denver Water, let's talk about what you need to gather up before you reach out. And honestly, you're going to love this because it's incredibly simple. You literally just need 4 things: the physical service address where you want the water to flow, your billing address, a primary contact phone number, and your target transfer date. Basically, just the day you want the service to start or end.
Now you might be wondering, what about my credit check? Well, here's the best part. Look at what is completely missing from that list. Unlike some of the neighboring utility districts out there that make you hand over closing deeds, photo IDs, and your social security number just to run a credit check, Denver Water skips all of that. No way, right? They just set up standard residential accounts by doing a simple property verification and an address match. It is a huge relief, especially if you're worried about credit hits during an already expensive move.
Okay, Section 3, Making the connection. 2. That is the magic number. Your standard online or phone service activations take just up to 2 business days to process. It is super fast as long as you go through the right channels.
Now, the path you take to get this done completely depends on who is actually setting up the account. If you're a private party, so an individual buyer, a seller, a landlord, or a tenant, you just make a quick phone call. Simple as that. But if a title company is handling a real estate transaction for you, they do the whole thing electronically through a dedicated online transfer portal. Just a heads up, title companies have to submit that request 2 to 12 business days before the transfer date, and that usually tacks a $72 title transfer meter read fee onto the final bill.
For the private parties listening, grab your phone. You're going to call Denver Water Customer Care at 303-893-2444. They're on the lines between 7:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. A real, live human will walk you right through those 4 simple pieces of information we just talked about.
Let's dive into Section 4, Billing and Payments.
Once your water's running, Denver Water gives you a whole buffet of ways to pay. You can set up autopay, use their online guest pay with a card, mail a physical check, pay in cash at a Western Union, or even use their 24/7 automated phone line at 1-800-556-0292. But honestly, one of the coolest conveniences? Pay by text. You just enroll in your online account, they shoot you a text reminder 5 days before your bill is due, and you literally just reply to the text to pay it. Talk about easy.
Now hold on, because there's a little bit of fine print here that you absolutely need to know. Denver Water uses a third-party processor for online bills called SpeedPay. They're an ACI worldwide company. And under their terms of service, Denver Water is actually not liable if your bank or the SpeedPay system messes up and fails to transmit your payment on time. So it's just a really good reminder to always double-check that your payments actually post.
And speaking of making sure things post, here is a massive pitfall you need to avoid. When you sign up for AutoPay online, it doesn't always magically kick in for your current billing cycle. You absolutely must keep paying manually until your monthly statement explicitly says the words automatic pay. Seriously, missing this little detail is how so many new residents accidentally get slapped with totally avoidable late fees.
All right, final stretch, Section 5, Maintenance and Troubleshooting Tips.
Depending on your specific situation, you might run into some miscellaneous fees. We already mentioned that $72 title transfer meter read fee. But say you need a new tap, which is a brand new physical connection to the main water line, that'll cost you $185. Need an after-hours install? That's $165. But listen to this. If your service ever gets completely revoked and the city has to sever your connection entirely, called a tab cut, the fee right now is $0, but it's proposed to jump to a staggering $9,480 effective mid-August 2026. Yeah, you heard that right. Ouch.
But hey, don't let that huge number freak you out. Denver Water actually has a really reassuring policy if you ever find yourself struggling. As a safety net, as long as you keep your past due balance under $100, you're not at risk of your water being shut off. Plus, if you're dealing with genuine financial hardship, there is help available. They partner with the Mile High United Way, and you can get connected to those resources just by dialing 211.
You've also got to keep in mind a few local Denver quirks. Since water is a super precious resource out here, remember we're relying on mountain snowmelt. There are some strict seasonal conservation rules, especially summer watering schedules, and they take it seriously. Violating those rules can lead to administrative warnings, non-compliance fines, and eventually they can even shut off your service. But to help you out, Denver Water heavily promotes something called Colorado Scaping. They offer tons of resources and tree care guides so you can keep a gorgeous yard without wasting water.
So, wrapping this all up, please keep in mind that utility regulations, fees, and conservation rules change all the time. The details we covered today, especially those proposed fee hikes, are current as of August 2nd, 2026. Because things evolve, you absolutely have to confirm the latest procedures and rates directly with Denver Water or your local distributor.
Setting up utilities is probably never going to be the most fun part of moving, but with this playbook, it's definitely going to be the easiest. You know who to call, you know the autopay trap to avoid, and you've saved yourself a ton of headaches. So now that your water is officially flowing and that stress is totally off your plate, what's the very first thing you're going to unpack to make that new Denver house truly feel like home?